In this practical tutorial, we will create a model of a pizza. I have already added a reference picture to the background. Now we need to create the base of the pizza, which we will further refine. I will use a primitive disk. Turn on slice mode to cut off part of it. Now adjust the size. I will set a small segmentation to make it easier to edit the model. Now I'm converting the model to editable polygons. Next, add polygons to create the pizza side. Select the Poly Pen tool and slice it. Let's go back to the top view and adjust the position of the faces. Not to disturb the mesh, I will use the Slide tool. Now we need to round off this edge. Select the Poly Pen tool and create new semicircular polygons. Delete these polygons. We have a base for a slice of pizza ready. Let's now extrude. Select all polygons, use the Extrude tool, and extrude the model a little. Now select the polygons that will create the side and apply extrude to them as well. Apply subdivision surface to this model to add subdivisions. So far we have got such a model, and we need to adjust it. First, use the Poly Pen tool. Close this part of the model. The rest can be closed with Close Polygon Hole. Check the model. So we see that we have got a triangle, which means that I connected the wrong points. Let's recreate the edges so that we get quadrilateral polygons. Now let's turn on the subdivision surface and take a look at the model. The model needs to be refined. Let's add some edge loops right here. Let's also add some closer to the side so that it stands out well. You can also add it here for a uniform grid. Check the model. Let's create edges where they didn't work. You also need to cut polygons in this place. Now let's adjust the shape of the pizza side a little. To do this, I will edit the points of the model. So here in this place, you also need to cut polygons. Great, the base is ready. Now turn off the subdivision surface and make the cheese for the pizza. To do this, I select these polygons. I use the split command to create a new object. I take it out of the generator and use the extrude tool to add thickness. Let's refine this model. Turn off the visibility of the pizza base. Now you need to close this area. Apply the close polygon hole and use the pen tool to cut the polygons. Let's place this object in the subdivision surface to check what shape is obtained. Turn off subdivision surface and finalize the model. We need to add loops here. Take the Loop Cut tool and create subdivisions on the model. Let's go to the top view. We can see on the reference that we need to create drops of flowing cheese in this area. So select the polygons, apply extrude, extrude a little. Next, select the bottom polygon, Control drag down to create a new polygon. Now if we turn on subdivision surface, we see that a semblance of what we need is created. But these polygons need to be improved. Use the pen tool to edit the model. I will take this edge and connect it to the base edge. Now if we turn on subdivision surface, we see that the shape has become smoother. Adjust the shape so that it looks like a drop. To properly scale this polygon, I will change the position of the axis. I will rotate it a little. Now turn off axis editing and set up scale. Turn on subdivision surface. Yes, now it looks nothing like a droplet. We continue to edit the form. I'll select this polygon and move it a little higher. Next, drag down holding down Control. We've created this thing and it looks more like a droplet. Create another polygon. Hold down Control, drag it down and increase its size. This is how we create the desired shape. Now let's create the next droplet in the same way. I accidentally selected some polygons. Reselect the polygons and extrude them. Adjust the shape. I make this polygon narrower and move it lower. Then select the polygon again and use Ctrl to move it down. Adjust the shape. I'll do it behind the scenes since the steps are identical. In fact, all these operations boil down to the fact that we edit points and faces, adjusting the optimal shape of the model. And so I got this shape. If I turn on the subdivision surface, we can see that this is a surprisingly good drop. Now it remains to create a drop in front. To do this, I switch to the polygon editing mode and select these polygons. I drag them out with Ctrl to create the following shape. Now select the bottom polygons, and also Ctrl drag down. Reduce its size. Move them down again. Make it wider here and create just such a drop. Let's see what we got. Now the shapes are too rough. Go to the face editing mode and move these edges to make the shape rounder. Next, you need to round it off here. To do this, I will select this face and offset it slightly forward. Continue adjusting the shape, making it more rounded. Switch to the points editing mode and start to edit them. So I got this shape. Now I will add the pizza base into a separate subdivision surface object. I will turn on its visibility. We've got this slice of pizza, but it still needs to be finalized. If we take a closer look, we can see that the cheese does not fit snugly against the pizza crust. So we will move all polygons a little lower. Here we add more polygons so that this cheese is now closer to the crust. Extrude a little. Now let's see what it looks like with subdivision surface. Let's slightly increase the size of the drops. Select the points and adjust their shape. Excellent. This is the model we got. Now let's create the salami. I'll use the cube object as a basis. I adjust its position and size. Now apply to it subdivide with anti-aliasing enabled. It turns out like this, but this shape is not quite like what we need. I go into the face editing mode. Select these loops and scale them down a bit. I am finalizing the shape until the result satisfies me. Yes, this shape suits me. Let's move the model a little lower. Now let's place it as in the reference. Next, I create a duplicate and place it side by side. I will rotate it a little and place it so that its middle is on the edge of the pizza. I will remove the outermost polygons to create a half of the salami. I select them and delete. Next, using the Close Polygon Hole tool, close this part of the model. Now we cut the polygons. Let's go to the top view to make it easier to edit the shape of the model. Select the points, select the Scale tool, and bring them down to 0. We get a flat surface. We need to make it a little convex, so I will select these points. They need to be shifted a little. Now we need to duplicate the whole sausage and place it like in the reference. And so we have created a fairly large number of objects. I want to keep this iteration so that I can go back and edit it. To do this, I create a null object. I will name it old. I duplicate the pizza and place it in the null. Next, I hide all objects so that they do not interfere. For further refinement, I will convert the subdivision surface object to a polygonal model. Now let's create the sesame seeds on the pizza crust. I'll use a cube as a basis. I will make it smaller. I convert it into a polygon object and adjust the shape. We need to get the shape of a seed. To make the shape more rounded, apply subdivide with anti-aliasing turned on. Now it is quite large. We will make it a little smaller. Next, use the cloner to place this object on the pizza crust. To do this, create a cloner object and place a seed in it. In the Mode parameter, select Object. Add the pizza base to the object line. We see how copies of the seed are randomly created throughout the object. But we need to make sure that they are only in a certain area. For this, we can use the Polygon Selection tag. Select the object and select the required polygons on which we want to see clones. Now go to the Select menu and choose the Set Selection command. The Polygon Selection tag has been created. Next, go to Cloner and place it in the Selection tab. Now all clones will be created exclusively in these polygons. As you can see, they are positioned in the wrong way. So go to the cloner settings, select the Transform tab, set the rotation parameter to 90 degrees. Now let's add a random effector so that we can vary the positions of the copies. Update the position or uncheck it and check the rotation parameter. Adjust the rotation. I will decrease the seed a little more and increase the number of clones. Using the seed parameter, we will configure the variation of the arrangement of the clones. Now, so that they don't overlap, let's add the Push Apart effector. Set the radius parameter to 2. We get this model. It is almost ready. Let's put all these objects into the null. Now let's add distortions for the cheese objects. For this, I will use the displacer deformer. We place it in the cheese object. Go to Shading and select Noise in the shader. In the Object tab, set up its value. Great, the pizza is ready. These are the ways you can create such objects.